earlier in the show, we were talking about perhaps another seed of doubt on the goaltending situation. Samsonov came in and did a nice cleanup job. But a couple of things I want to ask you. Number one is there a real concern for Matt Murray once again? And why does it appear that it's so hard for Sheldon Keefe to pull goalies?
It is a foreign concept, right? He's the opposite of your guy, Mike Keenan,
Captain Hook.
Was the Captain Hook of coaches, and I think it was the first cup that the Hawks won, which was their second one with Corey Crawford. I remember there was all this kind of doubt about Corey Crawford throughout the playoffs and his glove hand or whatever, and he answered the critics, right? He gave them good enough goaltending, really good goaltending to win the Stanley Cup, and that's what Matt Murray's going to have to do as well. Because I don't know if you call them doubters or not, but certainly, and I know a lot was made, and Elliot was talking about a certain thing that's been picked up, but I'm sure the Leaf people pick it up too, and he can correct it technique-wise. I can't. I'm not. I don't know the minutia well enough to weigh in on that or not. But yeah, I still. It is unproven goaltending. It is not Vasilevsky. It's not even Linus Ullmark right now. It's not a bunch of guys when you're talking, but like Colorado showed last year, whatever that good enough goaltending gets, if that's just what you want to get when you're in the playoffs and hope to get. And I got to say, I'm still pleased with what I've seen. I don't know if I was a skeptic. Skeptic's the right word, but yeah, I'm wondering, and we still need to see it bear fruit in the playoffs as well. So certainly last night wasn't a good night in that regard with Matt Murray. It was a concerning game, but I'm not at the concern state right now.
Hey, did we ever find out last night's telecast who's like texting Elliot on like the goalie he's leaning too much? Like, are we talking about Trek Jack here, or are we talking about his mailman?
Yeah, would it be Merrick? I don't know. Would it be? I don't know. Or his mailman? Yeah. Gosh.
Gord, it's 2-2 in the playoffs in a playoff series. Tampa Bay and Toronto. It's 2-2 in the game. It's the second period. What are the odds the 5-forward power play goes over the boards? Is this a real, serious, viable power play group that you expect to see in the big situations?
Well, I'm trying to, because, Sheldon Keefe gets a little testy about it and says, well, people, they score shorthanded goals against teams with just 1 or 2D, or the Leafs or any other team when they have 1 or 2D on a power play, which is true. So I'm trying to think that, like, I seem to be extra sensitive when I watch it. And I go, oh, okay, see, here's the perils of it. Here's the perils of it going the other way. As far as, I know a lot's being made about Mitch Marner can be a good two-way player, and they got some players that are good two-way players, but it's just a whole different animal, particularly if you're usually the one person back, and it's a pretty speedy guy likely coming down on you. So I still prefer not. I would like to think, whether it's Morgan Riley or whomever, probably him, but I guess if it's based on merit, then you have a bit of a problem. If say you don't have a defenseman you can put out there, that's not a good thing. And okay, you're going to live and die with the 5D. That's up because you're going to die if you don't get by the first round of the playoffs. So that's up for Sheldon Keefe and others to decide. But I would prefer not.